The year is 1945. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, raged across the globe. As the Allied forces closed in on Berlin, the Nazi regime teetered on the brink of collapse. The once mighty German army, now a shadow of its former self, fought desperately against the relentless Soviet advance. Berlin, once a symbol of Nazi power, lay in ruins, a testament to the devastating toll of war. Amidst the chaos and destruction, Adolf Hitler, the architect of this global catastrophe, remained holed up in his underground bunker. The Führerbunker, a subterranean shelter beneath the Reich Chancellery, became the last refuge for Hitler and his inner circle. With each passing day, the noose tightened as Soviet troops and artillery bombarded the city above. The atmosphere within the bunker was one of desperation and despair. The air hung heavy with the stench of fear and impending doom. The once boastful pronouncements of victory had given way to hushed whispers of defeat. Hitler, the self-proclaimed savior of the German people, seemed resigned to his fate, his dreams of a thousand-year Reich crumbling around him. On April 30th, 1945, with Soviet troops just a few blocks away, Adolf Hitler made a fateful decision. Trapped in his underground bunker, facing imminent defeat, he chose to end his own life rather than be captured by the enemy. The man who had unleashed such horror upon the world, who had orchestrated the deaths of millions, took his own life alongside his longtime companion, Eva Braun. According to eyewitness accounts from those present in the bunker, Hitler and Braun retreated to his private study. There, they ingested cyanide capsules. As an additional measure, Hitler then shot himself in the head. The suicides marked a dramatic end to the reign of one of history's most notorious dictators. The news of Hitler's death sent shockwaves through the remaining members of the Nazi leadership. For years, he had been the unquestioned authority, the source of their power and ideology. Now, with their leader gone, they were left to face the consequences of their actions alone. Following Hitler's suicide, his loyal followers carried out his final orders. They wrapped his body and that of Eva Braun in blankets and carried them outside to the Chancellery garden. There, amidst the rubble and shell craters, they doused the bodies in gasoline and set them ablaze. The intention was to burn the remains beyond recognition, preventing them from becoming trophies for the advancing Soviet forces. However, the hasty cremation was incomplete. Soviet troops, in the process of securing the area, discovered the charred remains in a shallow bomb crater near the bunker entrance. Despite the damage, Soviet medical examiners were able to make a preliminary identification based on dental records captured from Hitler's dental assistant. The discovery of Hitler's remains should have put an end to his reign of terror once and for all. However, the chaotic circumstances surrounding his death, coupled with the secrecy of the Soviet government, would soon give rise to a host of conspiracy theories. Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, played a crucial role in fueling the flames of conspiracy surrounding Hitler's demise. Despite possessing Hitler's remains and confirming his death through dental records, Stalin chose to engage in a campaign of disinformation. He publicly sowed seeds of doubt about Hitler's fate, suggesting that the Nazi leader had escaped and was being sheltered by Western allies. Stalin's motives were multifaceted. By spreading rumors of Hitler's survival, he aimed to discredit the Western powers, suggesting they were harboring a war criminal. This tactic played upon existing tensions between the Soviet Union and its wartime allies. Additionally, Stalin likely hoped to use the uncertainty surrounding Hitler's fate to maintain a climate of fear and control within his own sphere of influence. The Soviet Union's tight control over information and its refusal to allow independent verification of Hitler's remains only served to deepen the mystery. This lack of transparency created fertile ground for speculation and conspiracy theories that would persist for decades to come. As the war drew to a close, whispers of a grand escape plan began to circulate. Some claimed that high-ranking Nazi officials had orchestrated a complex scheme to flee Europe. With the chaos of the war's end, many believed it was the perfect cover for such an audacious plan. The conspiracy theories grew, fueled by sightings and unconfirmed reports, but, the truth remained elusive, shrouded in mystery and speculation. How much of it was real and how much was mere fantasy? Well, That's a question that continues to intrigue historians and enthusiasts alike. So, let's take a closer look at the various claims and pieces of evidence that have emerged over the years. Many historians and researchers have dedicated their lives to uncovering the truth. They have sifted through countless documents, interviewed witnesses, and followed every lead. But the question remains, how much of it is credible? Now let's talk about the rat lines. These were essentially escape routes set up by sympathizers to help Nazis flee Europe. It's believed that many high-ranking officials used these routes to escape justice. The Vatican, some say, played a role in facilitating these escapes, providing false identities and travel documents. And, well, it's a complex web of secrecy and deception that still fascinates researchers today. Argentina, in particular, has a notorious reputation for harboring Nazis. After the war, the country became a safe haven for many fleeing war criminals. The Perón government, in fact, welcomed them with open arms. This relationship between Argentina and the Nazis is well documented, with many fugitives living out their lives in relative peace and obscurity. So, what does history say about all this? Well, it's a mixed bag. While some claims have been substantiated, others remain in the realm of speculation. But, one thing is clear: the end of World War II marked not just the fall of the Nazi regime, but also the beginning of a long and winding journey to uncover the full extent of their escape. And perhaps history's final verdict is still being written.